Well, I mean, whatever, it's fine. Okay. So I'm just gonna say this now. I don't really like the laugh person. I can never tell when they're memeing. I can never tell when they're being serious. Everything seems like a joke. I hate that. Well, I won't say I hate it. It's just very... It feels like that is how everything is dealt with today. Where everything is just treated as, like, some irony or sense of, like, oh, nothing matters, and we're just going to make a joke out of everything. Especially when we're having a conversation. I hate that. I hate it when I don't feel like I can have a real conversation with someone. So maybe, but we'll see what they, how that goes here. I don't really know what exactly he's going to talk to her about. She seems more left-leaning in things, but I don't know where she stands on trans issues or anything like that, but let's see.
Box's conversation?
I saw a little bit of it. How did it go?
They were good.
Are you feeling submissive and breedable today, or are you feeling obnoxious and screaming today? What is the...
Also, I hate how they flirt with each other. I hate the flirting.
Let me know what the attitude is so I can prepare myself mentally for how obnoxious.
How do you want me to feel? What are you in the mood for?
Well, you know, a nice conversation where you're not screaming over me the entire time would be great.
Yeah, we can try it.
Yeah? Okay. That's awesome.
I do like to yell, though.
Yeah, I know. Okay, boom, boom. Okay. I heard you were running out of content, so you stole my old content of bashing non-binaries. Nice.
Oof.
Is that your old content?
She's bashing non-binaries?
Yeah, I was on the shitting on non-binaries train like 4 months ago. Okay, I've moved on. I think non-binaries are based now, so.
Do you really?
Kind of, yeah. I got enough emails from people. I was convinced.
That's embarrassing.
That I listened to feedback from
drink
other
the
people's
Kool-Aid.
experience. Well,
No,
here's the thing. I think that the non-binary identity is probably the easiest one to fake. So there's a lot of like cringy people out there that pretend they're non-binary.
Yeah, it's the easiest one to fake, and it's like just fake in general.
I don't know if it's fake in general. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know too much about the whole idea of non-binary. The only thing I can kind of think of is like, for the way that I've understood it, or the way that it was described to me, at least, is this idea where the person doesn't feel any kind of inkling or specific feeling of gender within them. So most people, like, they normally fall in the two camps of being like, oh, they feel like a female, they feel like a man, or they feel like a woman or a guy or stuff. But non-binary don't really fit into that. That's my understanding of it. Unless he's taking I don't know how he'll describe it. That was my understanding. So if we have people that are drawn towards two sides of a spectrum of like how they feel, people that fall in the center, I don't think that's that crazy to think that they're non-binary. They're like, I don't really like fit into either one, or I don't feel a drawing towards a certain gender. I don't think that's crazy to think, so I don't know why she would be against that.
But
It's
I mean,
fake.
like, how?
What is non-binary? So you said that you're non-binary.
I said it at one point in time because the way people talked made it sound like maybe I could be, but after finding out what real non-binary people are like, I don't think I'm non-binary at all. I just don't care about some ways of presentation, but I don't care.
Yeah, because no one does.
Well,
because no one does. Because no one has an internal experience of gender, because it means nothing.
Do you really think that's the case?
If that's true, if that's what she believes, I don't know how she believes in trans people in general. Then, if you don't have any kind of like internalized feeling of gender, then there would be no trans people. At least that's my understanding.
Yes, what does that even mean? In 2022, who feels like a woman?
I think there is absolutely an internal experience of gender. I think there is. I think it comes out in a lot of the dynamics.
And what does that feel like? And what does it feel like?
It's hard to explain, but it's like these little poles that we have. Okay, I'm sorry, bitch. What does it feel like to be a human? Explain it.
Ooh.
And you got two sentences, otherwise you're not a real human.
I'm breathing. I'm alive.
Oh, that breathing?
I
Really? Dogs breathe. Dogs eat. Dog shit. What else?
This is... Okay. We're already getting to the part where it's like... This is... Oh, wait. He ramped it up a bit. He ramped it up pretty quickly there by going in. But, like, if you could just calm down. Just like, okay, how about explain to me, what does it mean to be human? And then just take a minute to think about what you're saying. I hate it when people just start listing off things like easily. Oh, I breathe. I know I think. Oh, every animal does that. What are you talking about?
You have the capacity for empathy?
Yeah.
Things...
Everything has a capacity for empathy. That has eyeballs.
I have thumbs that work.
Great. So do monkeys.
Oh, my God. This is what I mean.
Okay, so shut the fuck up. Calm the fuck down. Don't roll your eyes at me.
This is what I... Yeah, true.
Sorry.
Relax, Steven.
Okay.
I
I feel like there are ways that men tend to act there are ways that women tend to act, and there are seemingly like internal experiences that go along with our gender. Now, it's hard to point out what exactly those are, much the same that like, especially if there's nothing wrong, much the same that it's hard for me to point out like, what is it like to be a human?
Well, and that's, I don't know if he'll talk about this. That's the main thing that I've always had a problem with, because like when you do try to describe these things to people that just don't like, either don't believe in trans people or don't have that feeling, it's like you can't know what it. I guess if you already like live in that world where you are like already identify as the gender that you feel, and it doesn't like clash. There's no clashing or anything that takes place. I think it's hard to internalize and like word what it is, because you don't have that feeling. You're not missing anything for you. So it's like you don't know you have it until it's gone, or you don't have it. It's that kind of feeling. Well, it's not that feeling. That's how you realize what that feeling is once you don't have it.
Or what is it like to be, to have a conscious experience? It's different from like a dog or something. But it seems like there's some internal experience, because some people are like really fucked on it. Like this is like the question I have. And you know what? You can get me to not believe in all trans people right now. Are you ready? You can make me the ultimate transphobe. How do you account?
I want to do that.
We'll do it. Okay, I want you to do it.
I'm not transphobic.
That's what you say. How do you account for? How do
you should have just been like, that's what all transphobes say.
you account for people that have these like super incongruent experiences of gender, where they
It's
feel
an aberration. It's a mental illness.
Okay, sure.
I think that what they think they think they're feeling gender, but what they're really feeling is just like another mental like lost. Like
Okay,
they're
sure.
Just feeling lost.
Let's say
I think
that-
they hate themselves. I think they feel worthless.
Yeah, let's
I think
say-
in a lot of cases
Oh
they
my
might
God.
be like autogynephilic.
Okay,
I
let's
think
say that that's the case. Let's say that all of these things you're saying are true. Okay.
Okay, they are.
Okay, sure. Let's say they are. Good job. You've discovered it. Why haven't we found any other therapies beyond like gender affirming care that seem to work to alleviate these people's problems? If that is the case,
What have we tried?
a whole bunch of different types of conversion therapies.
Yeah.
Like what? Like what is that? What does conversion therapy look like for people who are like gender conversion therapy?
All right, I'll be honest. I don't know what kind of conversion therapy was tried in the past. But I wouldn't go out saying that we have. Like, I wouldn't be going around saying that we haven't tried unless I actually looked into it. So the fact that she already said that we don't try that, why don't we do these other things, or anything like, it's like, well, have you looked?
What does that look like?
I don't know what specific gender conversion therapy is. We can look up some programs if you want.
Yeah, let's do it. Because I was talking to Lonerbox and I was like, I don't know, conversion therapy for like trans people, like secular conversion therapy that's, you know, love your body, body
Thanks for putting
neutrality,
along now.
like
I can do
learn how
something
to
else
live
for
with
the
this
rest of my
body.
day.
That's what I think she's also a Mr. Girl fan, because I think that's what he goes down as well, where he thinks that there might be some way to like help these people in a different way, to make them just like love their body as they are and shit like that. I'm not gonna get into.
It doesn't
this
feel
game
like
right now.
harmful. That feels like ideal.
Okay, wait. Repeat that last thing again.
Like
Yeah,
how
last
much of
thing
it?
again.
The whole thing?
Just the last sentence you said. Sorry, some fucking moron donated like a dumb fuck at the dumbest fucking time. Now I muted all of them.
It doesn't feel that bad to have conversion, like secular conversion therapy that's just telling kids like, love your body, learn how to love, learn how to love or exist in the body that you exist in, even if it doesn't feel like it's like, yeah, just learn how to body neutrality, just learn how to love your body.
Just saying love your body, I don't think necessarily helps. I don't know how that would help with another. Like if she assumes that it is a mental illness, I don't know how you can look at someone with, say, depression and be like, hey, just love your body. I think you need something different there to help them. So if it is, the only thing I can think of is that maybe, I mean, it's more body related, since that's probably what she's going off of. She's thinking like, oh, my body doesn't match what I feel internally. But again, I don't know why. I guess if you could teach someone that, but I don't see how that would necessarily work if you're treating it like a mental illness. It's not as easy as just being like, oh, just love yourself.
Learn how to love yourself as you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like that doesn't, like Lonerbox described that as conversion therapy, and I'm like, that just
Well, I don't. What
feels,
you're
like,
talking
good.
about isn't loving your body is fundamentally different than like accepting your gender. I think that's a different thing. So I'm borrowing off the wiki here, and then we can go deeper into this if we want to look up specific things. But apparently, common methods of conversion therapy are counseling, visualization, social skills training, psychoanalytic therapy, and spiritual interventions. Other methods that have been used include lobotomies, chemical castration,
not good, not
aversive
good.
treatments such as the application of electric shock to the hands and or genitals, nausea-inducing
that.
drugs administered with the presentation of homoerotic stimuli, and masturbatory reconditioning. That's probably for like sexual orientation stuff.
Yeah, that stuff sounds bad. But
I mean, like, this is just like a feeling that I have, a prior. Okay, I could be wrong on this, but I feel like if we would have discovered some successful kind of conversion therapy,
oh my god,
we'd be like screaming it
players.
from the rooftops, and everybody would just be saying, "Do that," because it's so much easier than like all the drugs and surgeries and like everything else. No.
I don't know if it's that much easier, and it's certainly not as profitable.
Not as profitable? I don't know why you couldn't. I don't know why you couldn't charge just a lot. I mean, we can charge whatever we want technically. I mean, I can charge you fucking, I don't know, $1,000 for different types of like hormone pills or hormone blockers, or I could charge you $1,000 for some counseling. I don't know. I mean, I feel like the charging is a little weird. Is it easier? Also, I find it weird. I don't like when we go down that route anyways of being like that the industry is just in it for money. I think we have an industry that we want to help people at the end of the day. Like, we actually do want to help these people. So if we're going off of that basis, at least, that we want to do what's actually effective for people in some manner, then I would like to believe that we would have done the thing that's most effective. Whether or not that's the easier option, I'm just trying to think. I don't know if I feel like it would be easier just to convert them than going through surgery, going through like. Now, what's easier for the individual, though, that is one thing, because there are people that like would go in and just be like, yo, just give me, people don't want to like go to therapy or anything like that. They just want to get like pills. They don't want to do like harder work. But that, I don't know if people consider that hard work now. I'm equating back things like when people get upset when their doctor and they're like, hey, my back hurts, everything like sucks and all this shit. It's like, well, do you eat well and do you exercise? It's like, people don't want to hear that shit. So they just want like drugs to help them. So maybe that's where she's coming from. I don't know.
I don't think there's very much profit anywhere in any of this, so I don't think profitability has any.
I don't know. I think that there's profit for like the new gender affirmation therapists that like just started existing in the past 5 years.
I don't think that a group of people that didn't exist couldn't have willed themselves into existence with their non-existent profits. I don't believe that is the case.
Here's my problem with the non-binary thing. Okay,
Sure.
Okay. Also, I'm not saying that there should be an alternative that's like I'm not saying that like everyone should be in conversion therapy. I'm not even saying it's necessarily a good thing. I'm just saying there's got to be like another option. Like there's got to be something else that's not just like. I think that my biggest issue and what a lot of people are like trying to grapple with is giving like kids is letting kids diagnose themselves to some extent.
We don't let
sure.
letting
okay,
them have access to.
That's not a thing. We don't just let the kid diagnose themselves. Most places, my understanding of how this works is they go see someone. There's like not constant, but there's like a lot of checkups with this person before they even start doing anything. It's not like the kid just says, "Oh, I want to do this," and then they do it.
HRT.
Yeah. Wait. Real quick. Hold on. Before we go down this road, because we can. Okay. I'm not accusing you of anything. Okay. But I'm saying that a heuristic that I would use when talking to people is it's frustrating if somebody expresses a concern with something, but then they jump around to like 20 other concerns. So like if somebody says, I fucking hate women, and I'm like, well, why do you hate women? And they're like, I don't like female sports. It's like, okay, well, that's different than hating women, okay? If you want to talk about specifically minors...
I have a couple problems.
Sure, wait. If you want to talk specifically about like minors getting access to HRT, I think there's a conversation to be had there, but that's fundamentally different than like, I don't believe in non-binary people, right? But okay, go ahead.
Well, I think it's more of like and situation, not like a because like
well, sure, but one thing at a time.
I think I have a couple problems with gender ideology.
Sure.
Yeah, well, then pick
but yeah,
one
the one that I'm going to go on a tangent on now is I think that most people, like myself, can like get down with like can get down, Jesus Christ, can understand transsexualism, right? Like we know that there's like a scientific basis. We know that there's like whatever. We want people to be.
Oh wait, I need to go turn off my shit upstairs. One sec. Let's go back.
Happiest that they can be.
Sure.
I think that a lot of people have hang-ups, like I said, on giving like kids HRT. Because that's like a big decision for a kid to make. Like informed consent can only go so far when your like frontal lobe isn't developed. So there's got to be, but we can't say like, okay, wait until you're 18 because there are kids who are like killing themselves, obviously. So that becomes like the looming thing in the back. That's like, kids are killing themselves and you're killing them if you like don't give them HRT basically, which is like really spooky. And I think that there are like other alternatives than just like give.
That is the big problem. Agreed that it is hard to like get these people, specifically kids, because this is a big life decision that they could be making at that point. Luckily, we don't leave it up just for the kid to make that decision. And I agree that there should be a lot of like involved before they start going through this, because at the end of the day, if there are going to be people that should get this treatment beforehand, it's good to do it sooner rather than later. But that is a big problem. So that is true. That is hard to do. But I would like to know what her solution would be maybe not her solution. She can say why she's worried, but I'm curious why she errs more on the side of saying we shouldn't. It sounds like she errs more on the side of like we just shouldn't give kids these things at all, instead of wearing on the side of like let's try and make it more not streamlined, but more I don't know what the word is. Make sure that when we're taking these kids and we're looking at them and they're being like treated, that we're like doing the enough understanding to be like, okay, we're hitting the people that actually need this help.
And these drugs, or they kill themselves, right? Like, there's got to be.
Okay.
Even if we're babysitting them until they turn 18, right? Even if we're like, hey, just like hold out a bit. But also, I don't necessarily believe this is my true opinion, my one true opinion. Okay. This is my actual opinion. Everything else is just like I'm just thinking about it.
Okay.
I think that males, like trans women, should be given HRT or blockers as minors.
Wait, what? I don't.
Before puberty, if possible, because they obviously stand to lose the most if they don't integrate with society.
Okay, she's like ping-ponging back and forth here. This is what I mean. I can never feel. I never feel like she has a strict position or a hard. It's okay to not have a hard position, but I never feel like she has something that is like congruent with everything else that she says.
Right? Because if you go through testosterone's like a hell of a drug, right? Like if you go through a male puberty and you're 6'4" and huge and hairy, you're like gonna have like a really shitty time integrating into society as a woman.
Okay.
Whereas like the same reality doesn't exist for trans men.
Sure.
So, and we know that like things like social contagion affect like teenage girls in a way that like they don't affect like any other.
I don't know if that's true, but
it is true.
There's social contagion doesn't affect men at all?
No, it does affect men, but not at the same rates. Like things like cutting, things like eating disorders, you know, are almost like exclusively like teenage women. Like certain mental illnesses, like
okay, that might be true. I can probably believe that. Sure.
Yeah, it like definitely affects women at like a rate that is like, you know, and I feel like that's becoming like transgenderism or whatever has sort of like started to go into that sort of territory. And if these people have nothing to lose, they should develop normally and then just wait until they're 18 to take HRT, right?
Okay, so if I understand her position correctly, specifically trans women, so men at birth, she believes that as soon as possible we can get them on like hormone blockers or HRT or whatever so that they don't go through puberty, because that's going to be really hard for them to like transition into society. So that she's okay with, but for women, biological women, trans men, she would say try and tough it out till 18 because you're not going to have nearly as much repercussions if you try to transition once you're 18.
Like,
not a crazy thing to say. I'll admit, not a crazy thing to say.
That's what I think.
Okay.
I of course disagree. I would aim towards helping all the people as possible, because the people that are still like go through a puberty at a younger age, someone who would go through the puberty, men or female, it's still going to cause differences when it's going to make it harder for them to transition in the future. I would think, at least,
because they're not losing anything like a trans woman might. And also we know that like
I would say they're not losing maybe as much. I don't know. I'd have to look into it more. For
some reason, the prevalence of like transgender women has stayed like really similar throughout the past like 50 years. It's had like little upticks, but trans maleness or trans manness has like skyrocketed. Like it's doubled by like 300%.
When you say trans men, you're talking about women to men, female to male, right?
Yeah, talking about female to male, or female to non-binary.
Sure.
It's like skyrocketed at a rate that like we don't understand.
Sure. There's probably
a lot of
the
social contagion.
Yeah, with the women there's probably a lot of bullshit happening. Based on what I've heard, it's probably the case.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree. And then that becomes my second issue with the whole trans non-binary thing is that I think a lot of women are just saying it because they're like they're like functioning off of like extremely high levels of internalized misogyny.
Okay, that's a whole separate thing.
Internalized misogyny to the attack where they want to become men, or they feel like men. I don't know about that one.
But
yeah, it is a whole separate thing. I just presented that as like my second issue.
Okay, gotcha.
That's a huge ass wall.
Okay, well, where do you want to start?
Where do you want to start?
Well, the thing that you've laid in the beginning makes it sound like you don't have problems with children being diagnosed as trans. You want more caution to be applied to trans men than trans or women. No, more caution to be applied to trans women than trans men, because the consequences for going through a male puberty are severe, so that might require more severe intervention, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
She
think
understands.
there's probably, it seems like there's a lot of like, there's a big like female SJW to non-binary like pipeline that seems to
Yeah.
exist right now that's like super fucking cringe, but whatever.
But whatever.
Well, I don't know what you, it's just like the trendy
We're
thing
losing
right
our
now.
women.
It's the trendy
We're
thing right
losing
now.
our
I mean,
women
like,
on the front line.
I mean, these were going to be like fourth wave fucking feminists anyway. Like, it's not like you're,
Damn.
it's not,
Yeah.
I don't know if it matters. What are some of the big, I guess, like what's like a big mainstream disagreement? Because technically, most of what you said there is not super disagreeable, I don't think.
No, but people still are calling me like transphobic right now. Like a
Well,
lot.
yeah,
Like, everyone's
obviously,
calling me
because
transphobe.
anytime you say anything about this topic, that's what people are going to call you.
So yeah, I think this whole thing is brain dead. I think that most people are reasonable and have like reasonable questions about this whole like gender ideology thing, but we're like not allowed to talk about it because everything is like seen as like hateful, and it's like a big cult. It's like a big fascist cult.
Yeah,
I mean, I will admit there's definitely some of that, and that does suck. When I want to have just basic conversations with someone about this, I have to tiptoe sometimes, and that does suck. I admit. But I don't know.
I knew an old YouTuber who used to say the same. True.
An old YouTuber.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about
Oh,
Max?
Mr. Girl.
Peace
Yeah.
be upon him.
Yo, true.
Yeah. What is he doing now?
I hope I think
cares?
he's multi-streaming to a few different platforms now. Hopefully it's going okay. Apparently my devs are working on like a copy of my website for him too, so hopefully that's helping
Oh,
too.
nice. Good for him.
Oh,
But,
sick.
we'll
Do you
see.
think is he gonna be? I don't understand like
He's
getting
gone.
banned from YouTube. Is it like a forever sort of thing?
Usually, yeah. But I mean, maybe in the future they'll change their mind, or maybe something will change and something will happen and he'll be freed. But yeah, I've reached out to a few
That's
friends,
crazy.
but I don't know. We'll see.
Did he end up getting to the bottom of it? Like what happened?
I think he said he got banned for a video that got delisted and then relisted and age restricted, and then it got reported again and he got banned again or something. That's what he said, but damn, he's super mad. What'd you do to him?
What?
Why is he slamming doors?
Oh, I know. He's just a big dude. You wouldn't understand anything about that because you're a manlet. You're like
Oh,
5'7".
yeah? Really? That's not what your
Got
mom
him.
said when I gave her all 5 of my 7 inches, if you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, that's what you're packing? Interesting. Not what I heard.
Oh, really? Okay, well, you should talk to your mom sometime about it. Okay,
Come on.
what is your go back to the conversation. What do you
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, what are we talking about? Trans people, you're mad. Okay, you've brought up another issue, which is that it's really hard to talk about trans issues without
Stop attention seeking. Go.
what's
God.
wrong? Can there only be one attention seeker in the room at a
men
time?
Are
Is that
men are so attention seeking. It's disgusting.
true? You have to be the center of attention any
Oh
place
my
you're
God,
in.
just get along.
True.
with
I'm
it.
gonna make this a little.
Can you chill?
Let me.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Nice job. Wow, good job. Are you okay? You feel like you're getting enough attention now?
Yeah.
Cool, okay. I like how you have it hanging off your shoulder, even though it's just fucking like pajamas to keep you warm.
It's
There you go.
hot. It's hot.
Then why
as
the fuck are you
but
wearing them?
Because I don't want to wear like normal
Oh my
clothes. I
God,
don't want to
I'm
wear
stupid.
like.
Those little clothes? Right, what were your main points of disagreement?
Okay.
I guess we didn't disagree on a lot. We mostly agreed. I think that he thinks that non-binary. I just like what I just don't. I don't know what would convince me that non-binary exists. Like
How's it been explained to you in the past?
like not feeling like a male or a female.
I think
But
it's,
I don't think that anyone intrinsically experiences a sense of gender.
okay, if you don't think anybody experiences
Again, this is kind of where I mean that's kind of how I always viewed it. I'll be honest, I haven't looked too much into it, but like it's this sense of like you don't feel. I don't know necessarily how to explain it myself, but the whole idea is like you just don't fit in or you don't feel like a direct attachment to your gender. If there is an internalized feeling of gender, either you don't recognize it or you don't feel it enough where like it makes a difference to you. That's my understanding of what it would be.
is intrinsically a sense of gender, and then how do you think trans people are real at all?
Because
And
I think
that's-
that
exactly. If she believes that there is no internalized feeling of gender, then what does it mean to be trans?
I think that that's an aberration. I think it is a mental illness to experience gender because I think that is an external stimuli
Interesting.
enforcing like in the same way that
So to even have a sense of gender would mean that you have some mental illness. I've never heard someone say it that way. That's interesting. I disagree, but I've never heard it said
like
that.
anorexia is or like body dysmorphia. There's another Max talking point. Like
But you can have a sense when you have those things. You can have a sense of like your body and like being thin. You have a sense of being thin. Having a sense of being thin or having a sense of being overweight is not a mental illness in itself.
I understand that it exists, but like the normal group doesn't experience that. Like I think it is an aberration to experience a sense of gender, and then you
How
have
is he
gender
looking up right
dysphoria or just sex dysphoria, whatever it is. I just don't believe in 2022 there's like a set of like characteristics about a gender
Okay, but you don't believe that? Okay, so apparently Japan has issued a warning that North Korea has launched a missile. Is this true? Jesus,
Wait.
sorry.
What
else?
I don't remember hearing about
Let
that
them
at all.
destroy each other. Who cares?
True.
The West is winning.
Good
The
one,
West is
Tim.
rising.
Yikes.
Wait, so explain to me again, why don't you feel like there can't be any like internal experience of gender?
Because in 2022, what is being a woman?
The same as it was in year 0 or negative or like 10,000.
Which is what? Being a female.
Well, yeah, but it seems like you don't think there's like an internal experience of what it feels like to be a female?
No. Like, I like to wear pants. I'm very dominant. I'm
It's
very
not just,
opinionated. Like, what?
Okay, wait, so
I will say this is probably the hardest part is the fact that there are a lot of things that we attribute to people. Like, so when we look at things that we attribute to men and women, it is very much social things, which is how I used to hear it argued in like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, is that both men and female are more socialized than anything else. That's not true, of course. There's still biological differences between both people, and those things can be present throughout our whole history, technically. So those feelings of those things that are like innately within us, that could be just like he said from year 0 from when women were around. But it is hard to go down that route because we're so under this idea of like things being super socialized. So it's like what we identify as being a man and being a woman is something that, well, the arguments that people would give before is like, well, if we have a different society, or if we go to a different country, or we have go to a different time, then women were seen differently and men were seen differently, and they had different roles that would be changing throughout time. So what makes a man is something that's social. So therefore, that thing can change anytime.
then how do you wait? So you believe that trans people are just like feeling like external pressure to be trans?
Well, I think that probably. Well, I don't want to get too. Listen,
We're listening.
I think that a lot of trans people are autogynephilic. I don't think that makes it less valid if you integrate into society as your preferred gender, right? Because effectively you're still a woman if you look, talk, act, and are a woman in society, right? The reason doesn't really matter if you are like acting as a woman, right? Or being a woman. But I think, yeah, I think that's like a big pusher of why people transition is like autogynephilia.
Gotcha. I don't know if I can
He's so
I don't know if I
the
can
nuke stuff.
push you on this. Because this is a pretty important thing, but like I can just tell you what I've heard, but I mean like if this is what you feel on this, like
Well, I guess I can be proved wrong. It also doesn't make it any less valid to me.
well, but it's pretty important. Because if people are running around like doing surgeries and shit on themselves for some shit they just feel in their head, that's pretty stupid.
Well, that's what people do all the time. If you get a
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with that on Destiny's side. Just because you feel something in your head, if I feel like I should have something, I can see where he's coming from in the sense of like, let's say that I feel like I should have like a tattoo on my arm, and I go through a lot of mental distress because I don't have this tattoo on my arm. If I just get the tattoo on my arm and that's taken care of, and now I feel fine and everything's good, then I don't know if there was any harm in doing that. It would still be good to get down to the like why I felt that in my brain and like what that was affecting me and how it got there. But it doesn't necessarily mean that me putting a tattoo on my arm wasn't a good thing for like the person. If that's the treatment versus say I could either go my whole life taking this pill like every day and it makes me not have any like strong distress or anything like that, or I can just get a tattoo on my arm. I just get the tattoo on my arm. Like that's way better. Even though it's just because of my brain. Like that's still fine. It's still valid.
nose job, if you get a boob job, people do that constantly.
Yeah, I think if you're killing yourself because you can't get a nose job, you're pretty stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Trans
people
people are
do
killing
it.
themselves because they can't get surgery. I think that's so.
Well,
is it-
I think that trans people kill themselves not just because they can't get surgery, but because of the way that people like treat them if they don't pass.
but I don't think
if they
it's just
don't
because
integrate
of,
into society.
I don't think that it's because those people can't exist in society. I think it's because they have personal feelings about themselves as well. It's not just how society treats them. I think it's also how they see themselves too. But if you don't feel like there's an internal experience of gender, I don't know what to.
Because yeah, if that is true, if what she is saying is true, then that means technically, I mean, there's still gonna be outliers, but technically, under her belief, if someone's passing, and society treats them as a woman or as a man, however they see themselves, and there is no internalized like feeling of gender that's still like clashing with them, then technically, as long as society treats them that way, they should be fine. But we know that there are still people that like commit suicide and harm themselves after that. So it can't just be this external force that's acting upon them, because if all the external forces is telling them that they are what they feel, well, then it doesn't matter, because they're still like hurting themselves.
say.
I'd love someone to explain it to me, but every time I ask like a female non-binary person, especially, like what they're like, I don't feel like a female. I'm like, okay, what does feeling like a female mean? Like, you don't like to bake, you don't like the color pink. Like, what does that mean?
Well, technically, I don't know. I'm more thinking of like, I don't feel like I have this thing. What do you mean you don't feel like you have this thing? What is this feeling? It's like, well, I don't have it. How can I describe it?
So how I've heard it explained to me is that when you look in the mirror, there are certain ways that, like, you can typically tell a body by a silhouette. You can tell if it's male or female generally, right? You can tell by the broadness of the shoulders. You can tell by the curve of the hips. You can tell by the size of the chest. You can tell by the shapes of the arms and legs, even the shape of the head, how tall somebody is. There's like a general feeling that you can get based on like looking at somebody. And I've had people email me experiences, especially after going on certain drugs like hormone replacement therapy, that like the way that you see your body change, just looking at like the way that your body changes and looks differently can give you like a different sense of relief or feeling that you're in a more correct body than what you were in before.
I would argue that this is still an external thing, though. This goes more to what she was saying. It's an external force. It's that person visualizing and seeing themselves, and that's that external stimuli being approached to them, and they're like, "Oh, I feel okay." That's still an external thing, not an internal one. The internal one you should be able to feel that without any external force, I would assume. At least that would be my understanding.
So when I hear stuff like that, it seems to, even though I kind of agree with you in a sense, like I don't feel like necessarily like a man. Like I don't think I have that internal experience. But how could I know, right? If somebody turned me into a girl, maybe it would be the case that tomorrow I'd be like,
yeah,
this feels really bad. I don't feel.
And that was my understanding. Like when people say it's like, you don't really know what that feeling is, like like if you do identify as the gender that you were assigned at birth, you don't really know that feeling of not having it until you lose it, kind of thing, until you don't have it. And that's what I think, like, if we could somehow switch, like, do that for someone, I think that would be a lot easier for people to understand and, like, put into words.
I feel like I'm a girl. I feel like I want to be a guy again.
Well, that's because you've lived your whole life as the other. That's why.
Well, I know, like, I genuinely don't care. Like, emotionally, if I was a woman, I wouldn't give a fuck. But
you'd probably like that, you f***ing freak.
Okay. Just let it sit, okay?
I could turn you into a woman.
Oh my god.
What I'm saying is that I don't actually know if I'd be okay with that, okay? I'm not sure if I'd be okay with it. So it seems like for women, for trans people, it feels like they have that experience of gender that like is so integral to them that like even the way their body looks, the way that their body carries fat, the smoothness of their skin, that these things like play a big role in how much they feel kind of at home in their own body. And I don't know how to account for that or explain that without believing in some kind of like transness, which necessitates some kind of internal gender experience.
I don't know how that isn't just external, or why that couldn't just be assigned to external, because you could still view it from the sense of like, they see how a woman should be, and then they look at their own body, and their body doesn't have that, so therefore they don't feel correct. I feel like that's all external still. I don't know where this idea of internal comes from at that point. I believe there is an internal feeling of gender, but I don't know how he gets there with that kind of explanation. It doesn't sound right to me.
That's just how I feel about it.
I don't know. That could just mean so many f***ing things now. Like,
It could.
it's just so f***ing stupid. And then I'm supposed to believe that these people are like an oppressed class, like all these women that look like women who are calling themselves non-binary or like more oppressed than like a normal
okay,
female.
hold on. I'm gonna hold you to areas, okay? I don't want you to jump around to 50 trillion topics, okay?
Okay.
When you say that, like, I'm supposed to believe these people are an oppressed class, we can ignore the oppressed class shit. We don't need that, right? Fuck that. The problem is that these people can have issues with their existence, ignoring anything having to do with how other people are treating them. They might just feel horrible in their own body about themselves before we get into any kind of oppressed class stuff. Like, we can already be having, like, major issues. Do you think that?
The question that she should ask him is this idea that you're saying about, like, telling about someone by their silhouette. Do you think that you could have someone, a trans person, born on an isolated island who's never interacted with another human in their life, do you think that they would still have that? Do you think it would be possible for them to still feel that? I would say yes. I can't necessarily explain why, but from his explanation, he shouldn't be able to, because this person who's on this island shouldn't be able to like look at their silhouette, look at their body, and be like, this doesn't match what I view to be a woman. Because how could they possibly know that a woman is supposed to look this way unless they've seen other people that were supposed to be called women? That's what I would challenge, at least.
Or do you not think that? Yeah, go ahead.
Hard time. I think every adolescent woman looks at herself naked and sees like weakness, sees that she has a body that is like a commodity.
Oh
and
my
that,
god.
like, men.
I'm actually getting it. Wait, am I? Wait, am I actually entering the game?
Want to take from you.
Wow,
The pressure.
you're-
Listen, Steven.
She's jumping around again. Back up. I'm still
Sees
not in
that
the
she
game.
has a body that is like a commodity, and
Okay.
that like men want to take from you.
Wow,
The pressure.
you're-
Listen, Steven. Listen. The pressure of feeling like you're going to be sexualized your whole life.
Do you have a lot of British friends?
Uh-oh.
I need to
Bring up
know.
the British
Do
people.
you?
Uh-oh.
I have a couple, yeah.
Female friend? I don't know what, but there's something took hold in your brainstem. Some version of feminism where I feel like it is destroying your ability to see any other part of the world. Even the statement that you utter that's like, female to male is bad, but male to female is okay. And you have a decent...
That's not what she said. That's not what she said. She said that we need to take it more into consideration because the transitions for a male to a female is going to be harder if they go through puberty versus a female to a male. That's what she said.
justification for it, kind of.
Hold on,
but I
hold
feel
on,
like it's all
hold on,
stemming
hold
from
on,
this.
Hold on,
Yeah.
my head hurts. I'm switching my headphones.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, put me right in your ear. Right inside there. Yeah, can you feel me there? Put me in the other one too. Yeah, that's what I like. Yes!
I hate it.
Push it in.
I hate it.
Thank you. Okay, I think that you're letting your, whatever the feminist ideology you picked up in the past year is hardcore shading the way that you view a lot of things, okay? When I'm talking about looking in the mirror, I'm not talking about commodification of the body for the male gaze or any of that feminist shit. We're not even remotely close to that part yet, okay? Boys and girls develop feelings about their gender or reach down to see if they've got a penis and stuff when they're 6 months old, way before the commodification of the female body and the objectification of women, way before any of that shit starts to take hold. Like, we start to develop senses or feelings of gender really early in life. So I want to talk about this. Let's way before.
I want him to. I wish he would challenge him more about this idea of gender, even at those ages. Like, what is this feeling of gender that they're getting at that point, at that age? Because I don't think, maybe I'm crazy. I definitely, again, the example he gave was this idea of like a silhouette of a person, or like the more physical aspects of a person. What child? I don't think I could look at a child. There's no way I'm looking at like a very small child and thinking like, oh yeah, I can definitely tell from the silhouette of this 1-year-old that they're like a girl or a boy. I just can't do it. So what are they doing? Like, what is? I just don't like the example that he gave, because I don't see how that works in like what he's saying, what he's bringing up now.
Way before we get to feminist ideology or any really overground. I'm talking about very, very fundamental basic views of how we view ourselves. Like, not how we view ourselves in our place in society, but just how we view ourselves as like humans in our bodies. That's where I'm at right now. Okay, sorry.
Hold on, I'm making myself look
Yeah, do that.
like,
Get that
more
fringe out there.
attractive.
That's how I know you're really fucking insane, is when I see that fringe. I'm like, only crazy girls have. Sorry. Oh, wait, shit. Can you talk
Are you
again?
done?
Okay.
Are you done?
I think that when you plugged in
What's up with
your
the
headphones,
fucking-
I think it's
yeah.
switched. Do those headphones have a built in mic?
Yeah, they did.
They do. Okay, yeah. No problem. You got it. You're fixing it.
Get that crisp mic.
There we go.
Bass.
We're
Good
like
job.
halfway through this, guys.
Incredible stuff. Are you done abusing me?
Oh my god.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm talking about very, very internal experiences of like gender and stuff, not anything having to do with objectification and ideology and male gaze and patriarchy. We haven't gotten to that stuff yet. Okay?
Yeah, okay. It's like impossible to exist in a world where you don't think about your gender, and also
You can totally have thoughts that aren't like completely taken over by that stuff. We can think about a lot of things later stuff without having to tie it all back to white supremacy or patriarchy or some other intersectional or sociological concept. There are things that are pretty fundamental to us.
I think for a man that is true.
Oh, I one-shot this.
I don't think it's true for women. We can agree to fucking disagree.
You don't think that women...
The only way I've been able to experience myself is through like a political lens. Like, because it's 2022, I can do whatever a man can do. It's what's keeping me from doing those things. That influences how I feel about myself. Otherwise, I would just be a person. I wouldn't even know I was a female. Right? Yes. I wouldn't even know I was a female without this. Even know 2022, I can do whatever a man can do. It's
You don't think that women...
The only way I've been able to experience myself is through like a political lens. Like, because it's 2022, I can do whatever a man can do. It's what's keeping me from doing those things. That influences how I feel about myself. Otherwise, I would just be a person. I wouldn't even know I was a female. Right?
So she's saying the only reason she knows she's a female is because the external pressures that have been put upon her? Is that my understanding?
It's nothing to worry.
Yes. I wouldn't even know I was a female without this.
But I trust you are doing what is right.
well, that's the question, isn't it?
But it's impossible for you to know because you are already here.
Well, I guess I answered it.
They won't even know
Like,
it
who
happened.
wakes up and is like, I feel female? Nobody. You wake up, you pee, you look down, you're like, oh, I have a vagina. But you're not like, yes, I feel my vagina courses through my veins. I feel it with every move I make. I love being a woman. Maybe if you're pregnant, you probably feel more feminine than usual.
Okay, let's.
Oh,
okay,
shit.
let's.
But like otherwise.
No, wait, hold on.
Do you feel the most masculine when you have a boner?
I think that there is. Sure. Since you want to talk about boners, sure. Let's.
Yeah, I do.
No, never mind. I don't want to do that. Okay, let's do it differently. When you are. Hold on. I'm trying to. I have to figure out how triggered I want to get. I'm trying to gauge it. Because that's going to determine the examples I use.
Alright, good. I'm gonna realize that examples were bad.
Do you feel like... Okay, we had a conversation a couple weeks ago, right?
Did they?
Do you remember?
Which one?
How many conversations are we having? We had one
Out of my
conversation.
We've had a couple.
Okay. We had one where in this conversation, you brought up this concept of like the idealized masculine and the idealized feminine. What did you mean when you said that?
I think that there are certain like I think it's mostly like what you make of it, but I think there are certain things that are like evolutionary. Like women are also scientific. Like we know that women have more like developed emotional centers in the brain.
Okay.
Men have like more developed like logical centers.
Okay.
So there are things like that that are like, you know, women are more empathetic by nature, on average, right? Like this isn't for everything. I don't think that everyone should exist in this like binary of like divine masculine,
Sure.
and divine
There-
feminine.
well-
I also think that within us there is like just a bunch of traits, and we call them masculine and feminine because of what is
Sure.
like.
So we can
by society.
recognize that we have a binary, that there might be male and female, but the distribution of traits is like bimodal. Like men tend to do this, women tend to do this. So we have binary two categories, but there's like a lot of overlapping traits, right? There are a lot of emotional men, there are a lot of logical women, right? Just because men tend to do, okay, so we can agree with that. But is it possible that we could speak to some type of like female experience that is a bit different than like a male experience? Say, for instance, if we were to put a ton of men and a ton of women in a room, and there's like a baby crying, that like a woman on average might be more keen to investigate and try to soothe the child than a man might be. Maybe, right?
In 2022?
Oh man, you're gonna trigger me. You are gonna trigger me. You're just gonna trigger the fuck out of me.
Wait, no, that's
okay. So you believe that there's no difference
Did
between men
did he just say what I think she said, or he said?
in a room, and there's like a baby
If we put a baby in a room, we probably think that women will act first, or more likely to act than a guy. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's probably true.
crying, that like a woman on average might be more keen to investigate and try to soothe the child than a man might be. Maybe, right?
Probably.
In 2022?
Oh man,
Yeah,
you're gonna trigger me. You are gonna trigger me. You're just gonna trigger the fuck out of me. You're gonna trigger the fuck. Okay, so you believe that there's no difference between men and women. We're all the same, basically. All of it can be
No.
socially reprogrammed. If you want to be ultra woke, you can give me that.
No.
One. But
And that's what people. I used to hear people say that, and I think I probably think that, like, for the most part, that everything was socialized. Oh, shit. That pretty much everything was socialized for the most part. That's how I felt. Fuck, I missed her. And then we could change and make people be whatever they wanted throughout different periods of time, different points of society, and all that shit. And it probably just isn't the case that probably just isn't true, which sucks. Because I think the world would be a little bit easier if we were more similar. Okay, get out of here.
You picked the wrong enemy.
tell me that. Okay, then no. Then are you going to tell me then that, yeah, there's probably some general differences between men and women, even in 2022, that we're probably going to see in terms of behavior?
I told you, like 11. I just had a stroke. Hold on, sorry. Let me reboot. Accessing files. Hold on. Okay. No, I think that evolutionarily, we are slightly different, but we know that those differences aren't like huge.
Well,
Okay. That none of what you just said.
when they say huge, I agree that from a social aspect of like how we should treat people, they shouldn't be huge. But there are differences that can make. There are differences where we need to at least account for, I would say.
Addresses or contradicts my example at all, but
Sure, but sure then. For your example, then sure. Probably a girl would go and see if the baby was okay.
okay, generally. Do you think that women tend to walk a different way a little bit than men?
Like, what do you mean?
Like if I have a silhouette of somebody walking, based on like the way their
silhouette.
butt moves, the way their legs move, that I can kind of
sure,
tell,
yeah.
like, yeah, generally, yeah.
Yeah, we're shaped different.
Sure. Do you think that the way that a woman might enter a room and socialize with people might be a little bit different than the way a man enters a room and socializes with people?
Yeah.
Do you think that the way that
that's
like
evolutionary?
Yeah. Do you think the way that two men interact with each other is gonna, even if I just saw silhouettes and I didn't have specific shapes, that I might be able to tell there's a difference between the way like two women associate with each other? Maybe the women are more huggy or more emotional or expressive, men are a little bit more withdrawn, maybe.
Sure.
Sure. Okay. So I could list like a million examples of these things, but I think that like in general, I think that this speaks maybe to an idea that there seems to be some pretty deep differences or internal differences between like how men and women are kind of like programmed a little bit biologically.
Programmed biologically, I
Yes.
don't know, because in places like Spain, it's like very normal for like men to kiss each other hello and goodbye and be very touchy with each other. So a lot of the examples that you gave
Yeah.
are very externally driven.
Okay. So no. So to some
Okay,
extent.
so yes,
I mean,
I agree that some of
Wait,
it.
let me finish.
possible.
To some extent, there's going to be some cultural differences.
Yes.
But if you go to Spain, nobody in Spain is confusing a man for a woman. Nobody in Spain or Greece or any of these Southern European places are like, oh my God, like men sometimes are emotional or kiss people here. Like they're just like our women. That is absolutely not true. In fact, in a lot of Southern European countries, the men are even more sexually aggressive than the women are, for one difference, or than men are in other parts of the world. There's like one difference. So even though they might have some customs that are like, that's kind of weird from a West perspective, there's still very clear differences between men and women, right?
Sure.
Okay.
I think it's a. Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Because
like,
what?
can it be the case that, like, it seems like that points to there being some pretty deep differences between...
well, no, because I feel like it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm just not understanding, but I feel like those are bad examples again, because there's no concrete things, because the fact that I can go to any society and it be different means that there isn't, like, that society, within that society, they've dictated what is a man and a female, and that it is, like, congruent for them, and it makes sense for them, like, they're not, like, picking it incorrectly or anything, like, they're not, like, getting confused. But the fact that each society could have a different, like, thing for what makes a man and what makes a woman means that it goes more in the idea that it's all social, and that there is no, like, concrete thing, because any society, any culture can pick what it is. So I feel like this is a bad example again. At least I feel like it's a bad example. Maybe I'm just not understanding.
how men and women are internally? Like, it feels like it's driven pretty deeply?
I think that it's impossible, I guess, to know what is nature versus nurture in that sense. But I can tell you that I was brought up genderlessly. My parents let me do whatever the fuck they called me she and her, obviously. They called me my name.
Okay.
Good job.
But they never, like, imposed any sort of toy on me. They let me have Hot Wheels if I wanted them.
Okay.
For a second, I wanted to be called, like, CJ or something, like a boy's name, because I was, like, a tomboy.
Okay.
Never felt... They raised me the same way that they would raise, like, a boy, I suppose.
Okay.
And I'm an extremely dominant personality. I'm
Kind of.
still, I think, feminine, because I do just like the things that I like. But I don't think that... I think that a lot of men tell me that I have a very masculine personality, that I have a very, like, that I have a masculine personality. And
You do
have
have a lot of masculine traits, right? In terms of like dominant personality,
Yeah.
boisterous, loud, annoying, obnoxious, piece
Got
of
'em.
shit, insulting, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh,
for
so
sure.
those are masculine traits? You said it.
Generally,
You
they
said
are.
it,
Yeah,
not me.
They are, yeah. But like, you're still very
Men are
much
allowed
like
to be. Men
a
are allowed to
woman.
be those traits.
Like, there's no question about it. Even with the
Sure,
totality
but
of
it's
your
because
behavior.
of the way that I look.
I don't even know if it's just because of the
way
way that you look. Like, there's still like
Well,
some
I
like.
think a lot of gay men have been attracted to me.
wait, what would that... I would like him to explain what would it be then. If it's not how she acts... Wait. Now I'm super confused by what he's saying. If it's not how she acts and it's not how she looks, what would you be basing off of, like... Or how she sounds, maybe? But these are all things that are more socialized. I don't know.
No.
Like, yes, they have.
no.
Not in the way that I look, but in my demeanor, absolutely. And a lot of straight men have been put off by my demeanor because it's pretty masculine.
Straight men might be put off, but like
No.
gay men aren't going to be attracted to a cis woman just because of their personality. That otherwise they wouldn't be.
They
gay.
absolutely can.
Then you're talking
yeah.
about a bisexual man.
Well, no, they
Got
didn't
'em.
fuck me, but they were like, I like they've been attracted to my.
Well, that's great.
my-
Then you've helped some gay men discover that they're bisexual.
No, but
You can be... Wait, maybe I'm self-reporting. I don't fucking know. I feel like you can be attracted to someone's personality. He might be, like, instantly going with, like, sexually attracted, but someone can find, like, a personality refreshing and attractive. Like, oh, you have a very good personality. I would love someone, like, with your personality. I don't love you because you don't mix, like, you don't max all the other things that I want, but your personality I definitely like. I think maybe that's what she's trying to get across.
But I think it's impossible to separate my. You're adding to my point, which it's impossible to separate my body from this is why I just think that sex exists. Like, I don't think that gender exists.
Well, no, I agree that
sex
you can't separate the body thing. That's kind of what I'm pointing towards, that like the body thing kind of goes into our like gender identities as well, like the way that we look.
No, gender means fucking nothing. Gender means nothing. It just means personality. Gender means nothing. Gender is nothing. Gender doesn't fucking exist. It's a theory. Gender is not some intrinsic thing. It's not a universal truth. It is a theory.
Okay, that is possible. But the problem is
gender means personality. Gender means personality.
Okay.
That's what it means.
Here's the issue that I have. Okay, ready?
Oh,
okay.
Geez.
You're doing a great job, thanks. We needed the sound effects. Okay.
Wait, oh my god, I must just made myself throw up. That'd been crazy.
Nice. You probably haven't done that in months. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
God.
Okay. Anyway,
I would never do that.
The issue that I have in saying that gender is meaningless or doesn't whatever. Okay. The problem that I'm looking at is that it seems like there is a consistent set of behaviors among the set of all men since we recorded history, and the set of all women since recorded history, and those seem to be pretty consistent throughout all of history. So I feel like assuming a behavior is a thing that stems from some internal thing, it feels like that internal thing is different between men and women. Whatever that internal thing is.
You're talking about like a soul. You're getting into like soul stuff.
Shit.
Oh my god. Someone you've been reading too much Bible.
What did I? Okay, so you just men and women are the same. Men and women are the same. That's what you want to say then. Just say that. Say, oh, Steven, I think men and women are the same. There's no difference at all. Just say that. Or all the differences are socially driven. You think every difference between a man and woman is socially different?
No, I think that sex exists, and I think that there are different sexes. But I think personality-wise, gender-wise, in 2022,
do you think your sex influences your personality?
We can be whatever the fuck we want.
But you can say that. You can say we can be whatever the fuck we want. But how do you explain in places like?
Okay. So if
I almost finished the sentence. Keep going, Lav. Go what?
Oh my
sex
god.
influences your personality, so it makes no sense to me that someone could have a female personality and be male.
Okay. What if that sex extended past more than just?
So what is it then? Show me where gender is in the brain, Steven.
Show me where consciousness is in the brain. Oh, you can't do that. Are you conscious?
That was a joke. That was a
They're just giving bad. Oh, okay. It was a joke. Oh, I hate
joke.
it.
Have you not heard people say, "Show me where depression is in the brain"?
No.
Like trying to say that depression isn't real.
I hate it.
Like, show me where depression is in the brain.
I got
It's
it.
fake.
Thank you. I understand the joke.
Yeah, it's just funny. It's just a funny little gag.
It wasn't fun because you're triggering me nonstop. You just asked me the question.
There is evidence of gender in the brain. You
Sure.
know that there is evidence
I've
of gender.
heard
in the brain.
different concentrations of white matter, different concentrations of matter in the brainstem, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, or what we think is gender, but I just think it's all fucking stupid. I imagine being someone that's so fucking boring and useless that you can't think of anything to make yourself interesting other than fucking switching your gender around. It's so if my kid ever came to me and was like, "I'm non-binary," I'd be like, "Holy cringe, I failed." I'd be like, "Oh my god, you're going to jail." Just kidding.
Jail?
No, but I'd be like, "We're immediately getting you to a therapist. Please find a hobby. Like, find anything else to do, please." Like, be normal challenge, difficulty impossible. No, but I'm like, at that point, if my kid came up to me and was like, "I'm trans," I'd be like, "Okay."
Okay.
You're-
Wait, hold on.
you're-
We are running.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking.
Why?
Okay.
I'm just saying. So you don't believe that the differences between men and women? You don't think that that's biologically driven at all, or do you?
I do think it's biologically driven.
Okay, then why are you saying that it's all just like culture or it's all nurture, or whatever?
Because I think that that's what non-binary is. Because non-binary.
Why are we
Why
talking
they-
about non-binary? I'm just trying to ask you about fucking gender for men and women. Why do you have to go to another fucking topic?
I like it when you whine for me.
Just please, let's stay here, okay? Come back,
Okay.
come back to me, okay?
This is what I meant. This is what I despise. I hate when this happens.
I have no problem with transsexualism. I think.
No, why are you bringing up
What?
transsexualism? I'm just trying to find out if you think there's an internal experience of gender.
Well, I think that there is an internal experience of gender for people who are mentally ill and who are dysphoric. Dysphoric.
Oh my god.
Dysphoria would be like, okay, my sense of.
She did say that earlier. That she was going down that route, pretty much saying if you have a sense of gender, that's like a problem. That's like a disability or a mental illness. Having that sense of gender means that you have like this problem. I just remembered that we're in fucking arcade and people can play whatever they want and don't have to follow the rules. So I'm like, why are there two tanks fighting us right now? We are not going to win this. Okay. Okay. Whatever. So yeah. So she's going back to that. makes sense. Well, it doesn't make sense to me, but I mean, it makes sense to what you're saying. It's being consistent.
Personality and how I view my body are like not the same. So in that sense, that would be like you would feel like then it would be gender, because if you can pinpoint it to like your sex being not right, it would be like, okay, there's something wrong there. And that's why I think that like transsexualism makes sense to me. Like, because it seems like it's probably possible to have like to be like, oh, I wish that I was in this set of gender roles or something, or like I wish that.
Okay,
or,
here's
like
this
autogynephilia.
Okay, hold on. This is
this way.
okay. This is the question that I have. Okay, are you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm about to take you on a big analogy train. Ready? Okay. Open your brain up. It's okay. Okay. Let's say that I have a whole room full of boxes. All right.
Okay.
But you can't open the boxes. Okay. Now let's say that I tell you all of these boxes weigh 1 pound. Okay. Right?
Fuck.
Sorry, hold on, go back to the beginning. Go back to the beginning. I just realized that I was like dissociating for a second. Sorry. Okay.
Let's say that we have a room full of boxes.
Okay, boxes. My name is Boxy.
Let's say that all the boxes weigh 1 pound.
Enemy.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's say
that's like so heavy for me because I'm like
I
so
know.
Oh
tiny
my
and
god,
Yeah,
end
you
my
really
life.
need to
so feminine and
ask
tiny.
somebody to pick it up for you. Say, let's say some
Yeah.
of these boxes weigh 5 pounds. Or no. When we pick them up, we find out that some of the boxes weigh 5 pounds and some of the boxes weigh 3 pounds. Right? The box itself is only 1 pound, but we can't look inside. Are you following me? So, room full of boxes, and the guy tells you all these boxes only weigh 1 pound, but there might be stuff inside of them, right? So some boxes weigh 3 pounds and some boxes weigh 5 pounds, right?
Okay.
Are you following me? You got all that?
Yeah, I think so.
Now,
I'm trying to see where you're going with it.
if I can never look inside any of the boxes, but I know that they weigh different things.
Fuck
They
me.
weigh differently. Some are 5 pounds, some are 3 pounds. I have to guess at some point, okay, well, it seems like there's probably something different in the 5 pound boxes than what's in the 3 pound boxes. Because I can't look inside, but like there's a lot of the same parts. They're all like a box with something inside, but it seems like a lot of the boxes weigh 5 pounds and a lot of the other boxes weigh 3 pounds. So there's something different inside each box, right? Now, when I look at human behavior, okay, human behavior is an extract or an abstract from whatever is inside of us, right? If a person acts a certain way, that is coming from, it follows from whatever is inside of you. If I look through all of human history and I see men tend to act a certain way and women tend to act a certain way, then it's kind of like men are the 5 pound boxes and women are the 3 pound boxes, and that they probably have something different inside. And that thing that's different inside is what I would talk of as like gender. It seems to be the case.
I'm gonna have
Unless
to
you
go
can
back and rewind this. We're not gonna win this. Oh, probably not a. Ooh, I almost got it there. Oh, I don't know about that one, Chief. Oh, the big. Oh. Okay, well, I don't know if that was worth. At least no one died from it. Woo, he might hit me. I might actually do it. I don't believe we will, but oh, fuck us. Oh, why didn't you defense matrix that? She didn't have it. Oh, that's Game Boys. Yeah, that's game. Oh well. Alright, let's finish.
is an extract or an abstract from whatever is inside of us, right? If a person acts a certain way, like there's a lot of the same parts. They're all like a box with something
We got boxes. Some weigh 5 pounds, some weigh 3 pounds. Can't open the box, so there has to. He's assuming there's something different in there. Makes sense.
inside, but it seems like a lot of the boxes weigh 5 pounds and a lot of the other boxes weigh 3 pounds. So there's something different inside each box, right? Now, when I look at human behavior, okay, human behavior is an extract or an abstract from whatever is inside of us, right? If a person acts a certain way, that is coming from, it follows from whatever is inside of you.
Okay, so people act away because of some part of them inside them, like their brain and all that shit, like their actions within them. Sure.
If I look through all of human history and I see men tend to act a certain way and women tend to act a certain way, then it's kind of like men are the 5-pound boxes and women are the 3-pound boxes, and that they probably have something different inside. And that thing that's different inside is what I would talk of as like gender.
Okay, so that's why would the thing that's different inside be the gender specifically? If we just take a simple example, if we look at men and women, and let's look at one of these differences. Men seem to be more aggressive than women. And then if we equate, well, it looks like men are more aggressive than women because they have testosterone. Well, so is the testosterone the gender? I don't understand.
Seems to be the case, unless you can account for those consistent external actions differently that have happened through like all of human history. Does that make sense?
Really? Here's the... Let me concede.
You don't have to concede. We're just having a
Well, no,
conversation.
no,
I'm not trying to get you to
here's- well,
concede
no.
anything. Okay.
Well, no, okay, maybe my biggest problem.
Okay. Oh, we're about to jump to
my
another
god.
No, not another topic. I
No,
think
no, at all.
this experience of gender, I think it means less because the people I'm hearing it from are retarded.
Got him.
Okay.
So like,
No, okay.
it's
Let's
like-
stay on that. Let's stay on that.
No, listen. I think that maybe some person can be non-binary. If intersex exists, I'm like, sure.
Okay.
Someone can feel that.
This is okay. I mean, she kind of just said it. People it come from is the problem. Then the people that tell her about it is the problem. Okay. Because now she's just saying, yep, if non-binary people can exist. I hate all things.
That way. Sure.
Okay.
I don't know if it's valid in the society that we live in because we do live in a society of binary, right?
Okay. Now.
And we sex each other immediately.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
even
we
if you say like, oh, you're a they,
Uh-huh.
I'm saying that to you with the implicit knowledge that you're a male and I'm placating you. Like that's how humans work. That's how human behavior works.
Interesting. That is something that people definitely do, and that is a hurdle to get over. There is like some kind of like that. So when you treat them as such, like when you they them, you are probably, there's a good chunk of people that are still going to internalize. Now, I may just be different. I admit that for most people, I probably see them as like the sex or the gender that I assume that they are. But for the most part, that doesn't necessarily come into play. I think kind of what she was saying, for the most part, I'm going to play healer. For the most part, I don't like look at someone as their sex when I'm treating them, like how I'm going to treat them. So if I'm going to go up to someone and start talking to them, or if I'm going to like interact with someone, I'm not thinking of, oh, this person's a male, this person's a female, I need to treat them like this. I just treat them as a person. I feel like, and I think that's pretty safe to assume for most people. I don't think you need to go around. The only time it would have to be like when you're trying to date someone, or trying to date someone would probably be the only case where you probably have to like look at it that way. But like, especially with my job and everything, like when I work, it's like I don't look at the people I'm working with and be like, oh, I'm gonna treat you like this because you're a man or you're a woman. I think that's cringe. Me personally.
Works.
Okay.
So I just don't know if I believe in a world where there's like a non-binary. Like that means fucking nothing. It means nothing in society today.
Wait. We don't have to go to non-binary. We're just trying to figure out.
But what makes me so upset about the term non-binary, or like why it feels extremely unbelievable to me, even though I think that maybe a small portion of the population could be non-binary, is how many females say that they are and are just actually they're not non-binary, they're just retarded.
Okay.
Oh my
I
god.
don't necessarily disagree with you. Okay.
Okay.
But the issue is that we can't have our entire worldview being formed in response to retarded people.
I mean, we can.
Like,
Sure.
we probably don't want that to happen, right?
Sure, but you can definitely start to shift the conversation that so you're like being a little more gatekeeper girl bossy, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think we should be gatekeepy about identities. That's the whole
Yeah.
point of an identity, is it separates one person from another. If you don't gatekeep it, the
Yeah.
identity becomes worthless. I don't necessarily disagree with this.
True.
But Just because there are a lot of dumb fucks that identify as non-binary, which I agree. It might even be the majority of people that identify as non-binary are insane fucking lunatics. That could be true. But even if that was the case, I can't let that spoil the concept for me. I just have to acknowledge that, like, oh yeah, there's a lot of dipshits that say they're non-binary. But like, there probably are like real non-binary people.
It's like really few.
Sure, but they do exist.
Sure, but like I don't think I've come into contact with one.
Possibly not on the internet. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, no. So when people are, I'm like Twitter NB phobic. I don't know if I'm like
Sure, I am too. I am super Twitter
yeah.
NB phobic. Yeah.
There was this dude. There was this girl that was like, I don't experience female or maleness. And then I go on their Twitter page, and it's like she has huge boobs.
Yeah, I've seen people do that. They've got massive boobs. They wear cute dresses. They wear
yeah, and then
dresses.
She's like, I want some big guy to fill up my little. And I'm just like,
whoa.
Are you okay? I'm like,
whoa.
You have brain. Where are your
Fuck.
parents? This is horrifying. You're in the sunken place. And this is my problem also, is because a lot of people are like, oh, why do you care? Why do you care? And I care because I think that this enforces a lot of misogyny.
Okay, let's not worry about that.
Like,
Right,
no.
I have to go back and listen to that. Talk about filling people up. Oh, do I have time to go back?
No, I don't experience female or maleness.
Non-binary, but like, there probably are like real non-binary people.
It's like really few.
Sure, but they do exist.
Sure, but like I don't think I've come into contact with one.
Possibly not on the internet. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, no. So when people are, I'm like Twitter NB phobic. I don't know if I'm like
Sure, I am too. I am super Twitter
yeah.
NB phobic. Yeah.
There was this girl that was like, I don't experience female or maleness. And then I go on their Twitter page, and it's like she has huge boobs.
Yeah, I've seen people do that. They've got massive boobs. They wear cute dresses. They wear
yeah, and then
dresses.
She's like, I want some big guy to fill up my little. And I'm just like,
Oh my god.
are you okay? I'm like, you are brain. Where are your parents? This is horrifying. You're in the sunken place. And this is my problem also, is because a lot of people are like, oh, why do you care? Why do you care? And I care because I think that this enforces a lot of misogyny.
Okay, let's not worry about that.
Like, no, because when like females who are non-binary say like, I don't feel like a female, and you're like, why? And they're like, well, I don't like, something as stupid as like, I don't like the color pink. I don't feel submissive. I don't want to have a baby. I don't want to do all these things. And I'm just like, okay, you're reducing womanhood to a stereotype.
That's true.
I agree that there are people that do that. But
And that's a problem because that's dangerous.
sure, but let's not worry about those people. Those people are dumb.
No. We have to worry about those people because now there's misogyny on the right, like there always has been. But now there's like a very special sort of misogyny on the left through people who are like trying to like erase women through like women's rights issues.
Sure,
Like
and that's
abortion.
an issue. Yes, I agree.
Like abortion, I got canceled for saying that it was a women's rights issue. They were like, it's a person issue. It's a human rights issue. I'm like, you're fucking stupid. It's a women's rights issue. And they're trying to like co-opt the language, and then we're just like,
Oh,
did
baby.
we forget that?
Wow, we need to pause to see this. I don't even know what I did. That shit. I don't know why I got that. I didn't do anything, but okay. I'll take it. I actually have no idea what my weekly challenges are, guys. I need to still win 7 games of arcade. Yeah.
Women are like a protected class. Like it just feels so fucking stupid. It feels like the second wave of feminism didn't fucking happen. And then people are so fucking stupid. I'm gonna
Ooh, be careful.
Dude, every time I log on to Twitter, I'm like,
that's what Twitter is.
dude,
That's
it's
what
like
Twitter is,
it's
for real.
making me mentally ill. Every time I log on, I'm like, I do have BPD actually. And then I log off and I'm like, wait, I'm normal. And then I come on and then I'm just like, I think that Twitter gives people BPD.
It
Oh my
might, you know,
God.
it's a special place for special people.
Now
It's
they're
fucking
just
horrifying. I hate it there.
complaining about.
But I'm just saying that like this is an issue that a lot of people have. I used to have this issue. I might even a little bit still today. Is don't let a few rotten apples spoil the bunch. Just because there are
No,
some.
you absolutely can let them spoil the bunch. This is how we.
No, it's not true. If there's people being injured or harmed or like things that we can do about people that are real, I don't want a few bad people to make me think that something isn't true. That's a bad way to live. I think that's a bad way to live.
And this is how it is very normal to make prescriptions about a group of people based off of like a couple to protect yourself.
I know
right?
that's where racism comes from and sexism, but we don't want to be
sure.
those
I
people.
think that,
we want to
no, I
be
think
better
to
than
some
that.
extent- No, I think to some extent, like profiling keeps you safe.
It can, but it can also lead to a lot of harm as well, right?
Yeah.
Sure, I don't think that
So,
we should like take
let's-
people's rights away, but I think that we should be like a little skeptical, right?
Okay, but that when you talk about being a little skeptical,
That's different
That can
than
be like
non-existing.
The skepticism can involve people's rights being taken away.
I don't think that it should. I think
Well,
I'm,
but it
I'm
does.
mostly-
I don't care
I'm
what you think it
advocating-
should,
I'm
but it
advocating for a
can.
cultural conversation shift, not legislation.
That's great, but the cultural conversation before was trans people are fake lunatics who don't deserve any compassion or medical attention or anything at all.
I never said that.
I never
ever.
said you did, but that's where the prior conversations were when people were hyper skeptical, and that's why those types of
I
people,
went the
trans
wrong
people,
way.
get really nervous when people say things like that.
What do they
We
have?
need to
Yeah, I
be
don't
way
know.
more skeptical. What don't you know about that? What doesn't make sense about that?
I don't know. I guess you're right because in a sense, they're profiling someone who like looks like a turf to be like, yeah, I'm gonna keep myself safe. But so I get it. But I also just think that
I get it.
I don't know. I don't want to live anymore.
I know, but it sounds like you're letting
You're right,
people.
you're right.
It sounds like you're letting the
You're
like the Keffels of the world like rot your mind, and then you're like, I think all these people are fake because some of them online are fucking crazy. Which some of them online are fucking crazy. That is true.
I think most.
Most of them online might be fucking crazy. That might even be true. I don't even know if I
And that's,
disagree
like,
with that.
completely- So why don't we reallocate some cancellation to all these crazy trans people? Cancel every trans person you see online.
Because that's never gonna happen.
Just kidding. No, but I think this whole situation fucking sucks. It literally just feels like fascism, like actually, and it's like really scary to me. Like the fact that people are like getting, booted off of platforms for like asking questions about gender is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Why
but
are we living in this like world? It's like a regime.
I agree
Different
that
than
these are
not
this is a
existing.
problem.
This is different.
But the only issue is that like you have to be careful that like what you're talking about needs to sound like it's coming from like a place of care and compassion, not like a place of hatred for a group of people. Because then we're just back.
Do you think I've come off as hateful?
Yes. When you talk about like trans people like deleting womanhood, yeah, that's what it sounds like. That you view them, you literally view them as like trans
It's
people are
not
an
hatred.
existential
I think
threat.
I don't know. If
You
that's
can call it whatever you want, but
hateful.
that's what it sounds like.
I think I'm scared. I think I'm a little scared because
Okay, sure,
like,
and people are scared of black people, and that's
Oh
where a lot of
my
racism
God,
comes
these
from. Like
all
people are scared of
things.
women
Jesus
sometimes.
Christ.
Like people are scared of men. Like fear is a
Yeah.
really common driver for bigoted thinking. Right? Like it's not like racism or all of that shit. It's just like purely like, oh, where does that come from? We have no idea. Like there are reasons why people can
people
become
are racist. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But that doesn't make it okay, and it certainly doesn't mean we should defend the thought.
Yeah, I don't think I'm transphobic. I've been like really vocal about.
Yeah,
like,
we're
trans
ignoring.
advocacy.
I don't care about transphobia. That's boring. I don't care about that. I'm just saying that more that like we have to be careful not to let like certain lunatics online like influence your entire view of a group of people. Because if that was the case, I'd hate women too. Because the women online are fucking insane as well.
That's true. I do hate women because of being online. So it makes actually a lot of sense. I will say the last time I remember coming on, I was dejected because I was like, I think I hate women. I think I'm dropping the feminist thing because I'd just been on a John Zerka Royale podcast,
Oh,
so I
yeah.
had no hope.
Sure. And I felt this way after doing some of the Fresh and Fit shows with like all the Miami women too, where I'm like, oh, I see why
Yeah,
people
I
are
was like,
incels. And
oh,
I'm like,
yeah, totally. I was like, oh fuck, like. I was like, yeah, maybe all of this shit is actually fucking stupid and none of it matters, and we actually should hate women. And maybe being a feminist is cringe. But now I'm back to reality. Being a feminist is fucking awesome.
okay, that's good. As long as you can hate trans people, huh?
Oh my god, no. I love trans people. I love Keffels.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah. What's her name?
Clara?
Clara?
Yeah.
If you could choose your name, you pick a bad name.
No, that's well, maybe. What's wrong with
Oh
that?
my
Pick a
God,
bad
cringe.
name.
Stop.
I would do like Starfire.
Really?
No, I'd do like a. I don't know. I'd do like Drogar.
That would be your trans male name. Okay.
Please tell me.
No, that would be my trans female name. I'm a man.
Trans. Yeah, that'd be your trans male name.
Sometimes I feel like I am trans. Sometimes I feel like I'm a trans woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of my trans girlfriends have said that I give off trans woman energy. I don't know what that means.
I don't know
Why
that
are
is
you
either,
cute?
but, you know, if that's something you feel like you want to
I
pursue.
hate you.
You should go.
Yeah, is there
Oh,
a
the
type of
big
trans that
revive.
is like I'm actually cis, but I just feel like a victim.
Yeah, we call those women.
True. Yeah, I don't know. I'm over it. This whole gender shit is so fucking retarded. I can't wait until like 5 years from now we look back and we're like, dude, gender was so fucking stupid. We all got like co-opted into this like group think that was so stupid.
Why talk about it so much then? If it triggers you so much.
Because it like I like to vent. This is like therapy for me.
Basically talking about
talked
trans people
I
is
talked
therapy
about
for you.
Well, no, because I to some degree I take it as like a personal attack when and I know that I shouldn't feel this way.
Dead. We lost.
But when I see like
lost point.
a female non-binary person,
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to all that shit.
They can't beat me if I keep on trying.
How many tanks do they have? Oh, only two tanks. Oh, we also have tanks. That's fine.
Objective.
Oh, that sucks. Feels bad.
Stop the
All right,
pain.
we're at the. We got two explosives
Like-
there.
It's
go
good. I'm
back.
glad.
Yeah. What's her name?
Clara?
Oh yeah, this is crazy.
Clara?
Yeah.
If you could choose your name, you pick that name.
No, that's well, maybe. What's wrong with that?
It's a bad name. I would do like Starfire.
Really?
No, I'd do like a. I don't know. I'd do like Drogar.
That would be your trans mailman. Okay.
No, that'd be my trans female name. I'm a man.
Yeah, that'd be your trans mailman.
Sometimes I feel like I am trans. Sometimes I feel like I'm a trans woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of my trans girlfriends have said that I give off trans woman energy. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either, but you know, if that's something you feel like you want to pursue, then you should go.
Yeah. Is there a type of trans that is like I'm actually cis, but I just feel like a victim.
Yeah, we call those women.
True. Yeah, I don't know. I'm over it. This whole gender shit is so
Back up.
fucking retarded. I can't wait until like 5 years from now we look back and we're like, dude, gender
is
was
what I
so
heard.
fucking stupid. We all got like co-op.
This is what I heard. Not gonna lie. Oh fuck me! I thought I fell off the edge. All right. Sorry. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I'm still in that camp. I mean, I'll admit that I think that people probably have an internalized feeling of gender. I got endorsed. I admit that people probably have that, but if we could try and like get rid of that feeling, I think that'd be better. I think it's bad that we have that. I don't think we should care what kind of gender people are. I'm dead. Oh man. Yeah, I think that's bad. Kind of. I don't technically know what we'd lose. Oh, this is cool. I don't know technically what we lose by getting rid of it. But since I personally don't really feel like there's a big thing for me, I think it would just be better if we didn't have it. Because that's how I feel. Because we have so much issues with people and how they feel about it, that if we just didn't have it, it'd probably be better. Oh, my dudes are good. Oh, well. You're getting so close. So yeah, I mean,
Opted into this like group thing.
I think I don't know if we'll ever get fully away from it because of this feeling that maybe it's internalized, but it would be better, I think.
It was so stupid.
Why talk about it so much then if it triggers you so much?
Because it like I like to vent. I like to vent.
I like the shit stir.
This is like therapy for me.
It's just talking about trans people. It's therapy for you.
Well, no, because to some degree I take it as like a personal attack when and I know that I shouldn't feel this way, but when I see like a female non-binary person like not being uncomfortable with like she her, I'm like, oh, you're a gender traitor. Like that's disgusting. I'm like, why would you not want to be female? Like we've worked so hard to like exist as women beside men in a way that like wasn't like slavery or like ownership. And you're like, I don't want to be that. Like, why would you not want to be like the coolest thing in the world? We could like build people with our bodies. That's like sick.
No, lame.
We can build people with our bodies. We have like.
I mean, people were pretty discriminated against for a pretty long period of time. They were treated as like second-class citizens, so they probably don't want to be that and deal with like living in a society that treated them like that for so long. So yeah, that probably sucks.
The power of vagina over men. Like.
Okay, that's true.
I think it's just cool to be a girl. I think. Like it's weird if you don't want to be a girl.
Okay. That is one way to view it. But like,
I think I understand when like trans women like want to be women because it's like, yeah, women are fucking cool. When someone wants to be a trans man, I'm like, ew, on purpose? Why? Like why?
I don't know if they're like choosing where they're like, oh my god, like
Yeah,
I think being a trans would be cool. I want to be a trans woman. I don't think it works that way in the brain.
Yeah, probably not. But still, it sucks. Maybe I don't know. I have a lot of pride. I think it took me because I told you I've told you this in like the first conversation we had is like I thought that I was trans when I was younger. It's taken me like a lot to like be happy with myself as like a female living as a woman in this world because it kind of sucks sometimes. And so I have a lot of pride in that, like, I made it, and that, like, I feel good about it. And I think that that's like a very female experience, is to, like, not feel female at some point in your life because of how much pressure.
Yeah, I just think the problem is when you utter that phrase, not feel female. There's a difference between, like, just not feeling like feminine in society versus, like, really seriously not feeling like
Sure.
at home in your body. Like, there's, I think those are two. I think there's like very different.
Well, I
Oh my
think
God, we're
it's also
gonna
hard
win
to make the
again.
distinction, because what teenage girls don't want
Damn,
to
we
fucking
got
kill
teamed
themselves
up.
because of the way they look.
I don't think it's just a matter of like this is just the way that I look. In terms of like I wish I was cuter. Like I don't think that women look at themselves and they hate the way they look and they feel like the wrong gender. I think that's like specifically a different feeling.
Do you think that it's that much worse in the society that we live in, when if you're like not attractive, you get like treated substantially worse?
Yes. Like I think there's probably a difference between a person who's like, oh, I don't like the way that I look, and they're kind of like a normal looking person.
Yeah, because I think you could always, it's like that feeling of maybe like, that is just an external thing where it's like, hey, I don't look like a way that I'd want to look, and then I don't look as cute as I want, but maybe if I straighten my hair, maybe if I do all these things, maybe. But the internalized thing is like, no, technically there's like something biologically or like within me that's different that I don't think I can easily just change by putting on a new outfit or something like that.
Versus another person who's like, oh, I don't like the way that I look, and they're like the victim of an acid attack and half their face is melted off. I think there's a substantial difference between the two.
Well, sure, but how different are either of those things? Do you think it's
Like
the same
substantive.
measure
Like, I
as
think it's-
dysphoria?
I don't think it's
Do
like-
you
I
think
don't
it's
think-
the same measure? Or do you think
I-
dysphoria, gender dysphoria, is a different?
I think it's a
measure?
different. I think they're a fundamentally different thing. They're different.
I think it's all on the same measure, but I think it's just different levels.
Okay, I disagree.
Okay.
Like, do you think that black people that don't like the way they look because of like racial issues are the same type of thing as like people that don't like the way they look just because they're like feel ugly? Or do you think those are,
I think that transracialism is as valid as transgenderism.
Okay.
I do. I'll die on that hill. I think it's as valid. If you want to be transracial, go for it. If Rachel Dolezal looks like a black person, acts like a black person, you know, it integrates into society as a black person, she is effectively a black person. Like,
I mean, I'll say that's consistent from how she views the way that she's been describing how she views gender. That it is all pretty much social and like cultural. So if she is treated in views and like can participate in that group, then yeah. So I mean, it's congruent with how she believes.
I don't give a fuck. Like, if you exist as a black person, that's like your truth, I guess. Like, there's no intrinsic race, right?
I agree. There doesn't seem to be an intrinsic experience of race, but that seems to be different than gender.
How?
Oh fuck me, dude.
I don't think that we
yet to
have like I don't think we have an internal experience.
Are there any transgenders in chat? Explain what it feels like. Explain what you.
I mean, I can drag in trans people if you want to talk to them. If that's truly what you want.
Yeah, I do.
That's not a trans person.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Wait, who's going?
Hi.
Hey.
This is what we need right now.
No, get me out
Hey,
of
my
here.
name's John Zerka, and I identify as a black person.
Oh my God! Hi, John.
Yeah, just a question. Am I allowed to get reparations from you two?
In like what sense? Like to your
Like,
PayPal?
can you donate right now?
Sure. How much do you need?
Just $580.
That's a pretty specific number. Are you gonna buy like a PlayStation?
What's it matter what I buy? Send me the money.
Oh
I don't
my
think
God,
so.
What is happening right now?
Why?
I don't think you deserve it.
You don't think I deserve it?
No.
Why don't you feel a black man deserves reparation?
Your voice sounds kind of white.
Whoa.
But I identify as black.
Okay, but you're not integrating as black. So you need to talk more black. You
Alright,
should,
can you
you
do
should
that?
try.
I need.
That's the issue. Oh shit. It's that you do start getting into these like purity games where it's like, okay, well, is this person black enough? Yeah, because you start getting into that like she said, you just don't sound black enough. It's like, well, so if you're basing it off of that someone can be transracial, and you're viewing it as like if they look it, can fit in society and stuff, then they might as well just be black. It's like, okay, well, what about people that don't look or don't fit in society? Are they still black then? Or like, what do you say there?
Objective A captured.
You should
talk-
try.
This is gonna turn into memes now. This is gonna turn into memes, so we're not gonna keep watching this.